Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, good evening. I just changed my time. I hope everyone is doing well. Happy Thursday. Today, Cle Folio will be informing you how to buy real estate in the Dominican Republic. Your international property awaits. This is a copyright notice. All rights is reserved to Cle Folio, LLC. Now about me. Hi there, I'm your go-to certified international sales agent. My name is Shanice Montalvo. I am the owner of Cle Folio. We're here to help you explore the exciting worlds of global real estate, whether you're a rental property owner looking to expand your horizons, whether you're purchasing an investment property or thinking about relocating. I'm here to guide you every step of the way. I specialize in helping buyers identify and purchase rental properties that align with their goals. Let's turn the key to your international property together. We'll find the perfect rental property and make all your global real estate dreams come true. Ready to start this adventure? Let's dive in. Now, how did I become an international sales agent? My journey into real estate began in November 2016 as a housing specialist, where I worked directly with individuals and families transitioning from shelters into permanent housing. In this role, I gained hands-on experience navigating housing programs, eligibility requirements, and the real-life challenges people face when securing stable housing. That led to the summer of 2017, driven by my passion for helping people find not just housing, but the right home. I pursued my real estate license and became a licensed agent in December 2017. As an agent, I assisted clients in finding a home, guiding them through the process with care, transparency, and a strong understanding of the housing market. For the past 4 years, I have worked as a senior paralegal within Housing Court, where I've developed deep knowledge of landlord-tenant law, housing regulations, and legal procedures. This experience allowed me to approach real estate transactions with unique legal perspective, anticipating issues, protecting clients' interests, and ensuring transactions are handled correctly and professionally. Together, my background in housing services and real estate sales and housing court law gives me a well-rounded client-focused approach rooted in both compassion and expertise. So Cle Folio core values is rooted in integrity, client-focused values. Our approach combines expertise, empathy, and continuous learning to provide exceptional real estate experiences that exceed expectations. Your success is not just a goal, but a commitment. Now, we're going to dive into using an international sales agent versus local real estate agent. So we're looking at the difference between working with an international sales agent versus a local real estate agent purchasing property abroad. First, an international sales agent who works with U.S. buyers understands the needs, expectations, and cultural differences that American clients may have. This can make the process much smoother because they can help bridge the gap between US practices and the local real estate system. Second, international agents usually have a trusted network of professionals such as attorneys, escrow agents, and other experts. This helps protect buyers and ensures they're working with legitimate professionals throughout the process. Another important factor is language and communication. Being fluent in English and familiar with US real estate terminology help reduce confusion and makes complex real estate concepts easier for buyers to understand. Lastly, many buyers feel a great sense of trust. See, my son is so excited too, right? Lastly, many buyers feel a greater sense of trust and comfort when working with someone who understands their concerns and guide them step by step. Through an international purchase, overall, working with an international sales agent can make the experience more transparent, secure, and easier for U.S. buyers purchasing abroad, property abroad. Okay, now about the market. So, why invest in the Dominican Republic? The Dominican Republic isn't just a vacation destination. It's one of the most compelling investment opportunities in the Western Hemisphere right now. Let me show you why. First, look at the scale of demand. DR has positioned itself as an investing drawing between 51 to 63% of all international tourists in every single year. That consistent inflow is what's fueling real economic expansion. And that growth is real and sustained, not a blip. We're talking record-breaking tourism numbers and rapidly expanding infrastructure and rising foreign investment. The Dominican Republic consistently ranks as one of the fastest-growing economies in all of the Caribbean and Latin America. That's not marketing, that's the data. Finally, accessibility. One of the Caribbean busiest international airports. Non-stop flights from major global cities, modern highway networks connecting the entire country for investors, tourists, and business travelers alike. The Dominican Republic is easy to get to and is easy to operate in. So the question isn't whether to consider Dominican Republic, it's which property best fits you. Now let's talk about where these opportunities are. We're focusing on three distinct developments across the Dominican Republic, each one different in character, but all sharing the same fundamentals: strong location, high demand, and serious upside. Coral Gold Resort, which is the top left image. This is a high-end multifamily residential complex built around an 18-hole golf course. Bravaro is the beating heart of Punta Cana. Las Galletas. For those who want something more exclusive, this is a tranquil fishing village on the eastern tip of the Samana Peninsula. Now we're going to dive into the developments. Today I will be sharing three today, but follow along on my Instagram page at clefolio.com or any social media platforms, and you will see other developments. But today I'll be sharing three. So the first development I'm sharing with you is Moon Garden. Let me introduce this to you. One of the most complete lifestyles offerings in all of Punta Cana. Moon Garden sits inside Coral Golf Resort, right alongside a breathtaking central lake and 18-hole golf course. You're not near the amenities, you're surrounded by them. Okay. So let me walk you through what Moon Garden actually offers, because the details here are what set it apart. There are 197 residents in total, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, and right now around 62 listings are available. Every single unit has views of both the lake and the golf course. That's not a premium upgrade, that's the standard. Every owner gets it. The project was designed by Morph Spanish architecture, a studio with a strong international reputation. The vision is clear: wellness, leisure, and quiet luxury, not flashy, refined. In terms of amenities, You have everything you expect from a five-star resort: gym, spa, restaurants, a sports bar, plus an open-air gymnasium, children's pool, pet park. La Carolina as a community centerpiece, which every owner who purchased a home property here has access to that. A pedestrian promenade and a park and parking is included. Prices at this development starts at 275,000, and each development has their own payment plan, so there's flexibility depending what best works for you financially. What you're really buying here is a resort style at a residential price point with added benefit of a strong rental demand in one of the Caribbean's most visited destinations. Now, next, we have Azul. Now we're shifting gears here, both in location and in lifestyle. The second development is Azul. It sits in a completely different pocket of Dominican Republic. Azul offers two distinct living options: condos and duplex penthouses. So there's an entry point for different types of buyers and investors. The community features a pool and cabanas for shared resort style living, and select units come with private pools. A major draw for both personal use and high end short term rentals. Okay, so um, it's generally spacious, multi-level living experience. These aren't small units. The surroundings growth. Here's what elevates the investment case for Azul. A new cruise port is currently under development in this area. That's not a rumor. That's an infrastructure, and infrastructure drives value. On top of that, Samana is already internationally recognized for whale watching, which draws a specific high spending tourism market every season. Condo starts at 300,000 and duplex penthouses are starting at 750,000. As with our other development, each developer offers their own payment plan so we can find structure that fits your goals. Between the cruise port coming online, the growing tourism profile, and the natural beauty of Samana, Azul represents the kind of opportunity where you're not just buying a property, you're buying ahead the curve. Now, last, our third development brings us back to the energy of Punta Cana, and this is one is for buyers who want to be right in the middle of it all. The development Secret Garden is fully gated, closed community, which means privacy, security, and curated living environment from the moment you arrive. It's so exciting, baby, right? So exciting. This is a substantial project built on a 50,000 square meter plot. Secret Garden offers 327 units in total across several distinct prototypes: 19 duplex units, 64 unit studio apartments, 278 condos, which consists of one, two, and three bedroom configurations. There are also dedicated areas for family homes and villas, plus a commercial zone built right into the community. In terms of lifestyle, this development holds nothing back. Residents have access to the gym, co-working space, beach volleyball court, restaurant, pools, bar, mini golf, a children's pool, and playground, and inspection of garden areas. And the centerpiece is the 1,800 square meter swimming pool. That's not a pool, that's a destination. Okay, what makes Secret Garden particularly compelling is its dual appeal. It works equally well as a primary or secondary residence, and as a vacation rental investment. You're in the heart of Bravado, steps from the beach in one of the Caribbean's highest demand tourism corridors. Occupancy here is not a question. Whether your buying is looking, your buyer is looking, whether you're a buyer looking for a personal treat or performing assets, Secret Garden checks both boxes. And with the range of unit types available, there's truly something here every profile. Now the process. Now we're going to discuss the Dominican buying process. Okay. Okay. So the first step is proof of funds. So the very first step is proof of funds. In the Dominican Republic, buyer process is what we call proof of funds, and this is where everything begins. Before we can even start looking at property seriously, we need to understand what you can actually afford. This isn't about limiting your dreams, it's about setting you up for success so that you so that when you find the property, you're ready to move. The first thing we're going to do together is determine your budget. That means looking at your income, your expenses, and any existing debts. We want a full, honest picture of your financial situation, not just what comes in, but what goes every month. And here's something a lot of buyers don't think about upfront. Your budget isn't just the purchase price or the monthly mortgage payment. We also have to factor in property taxes, maintenance costs. These add up, and we want to make sure you're comfortable with full picture and not just the headline number. So the key message here is be realistic and do your research. The more honest you are at this stage, the smoother everything else will be. Once we know your budget, we move into acquiring your financing. And that this is really what gives you your buying power. Getting your finances in order early gives you a clear idea of exactly how much you can afford, and it makes the entire home buying process significantly smoother. Sellers take you more seriously, and you can act quickly when the right property comes up. So, to recap, know your numbers, be honest about your budget, and get your financing lined up early. This foundation is what everything else is built on. So, I put my barcode here for a free 15-minute buyer consultation so we can further discuss on what's needed when you need to show us proof of funds. Okay. So the second step is obtain permanent approval. Now, step two is one of the surprises a lot of people, especially buyers come from the United States, Canada, or Europe, where purchasing property as a foreigner can involve a lot of red tape. The step is called obtain permit approval. And here's the good news. In the Dominican Republic, you don't need one. That's right. As a foreigner, you do not need a special permit to purchase property here. This is actually one of the biggest advantages of investing in the Dominican Republic, and it's something I love sharing with clients because it immediately removes a major barrier that people assume exists. The reason for this is rooted in the country's constitution and laws, which grant foreigners the same property rights as a Dominican citizen. You treated equally under the law. There is no second class status for foreign buyers. So what that means for you as a buyer, it means one less hurdle, one less document, one less wait time. You can move through the buying process with confidence, knowing that your rights as a property owner are fully protected by the Dominican law. The same protection a local citizen would have. No special approvals, no government permit applications. Now, while you don't need a permit, there are still important legal steps involved in the purchase process. And that's why the right team around you matters, which is step three. Step three. We've talked about your finances. We cleared up the permit question. Now comes one of the most important steps in the entire process: building your team. Get your team together. This is where a lot of buyers make mistakes. They try to navigate the purchase alone, or they rely on the wrong people. Step three is all about making sure you have the right professionals in your corner before you go any further. At this stage, you want to start gathering the key people who guide you through the legal and logistical side of the transaction. Besides having an international sales agent, having a good attorney is essential. They will review contracts, verify titles, conduct due diligence on the property, and make sure your investment is fully protected under Dominican law. Remember, buying property is a team sport. The right attorney, the right agent, the right network. This is what separates a smooth transaction from a stressful one. We're here to help you build that team. Let's keep going. Step four is next. Okay. Next, you would choose your property. You can attend a virtual open house like this one or an in-person. So, and now get to the fun part. Step four, selecting your property. You've got your finances sorted. You know you don't need a permit, and you've got your team in place. Now it's time to actually choose the property you want to purchase. Let me walk you through exactly how this works. First thing to know, all of the properties we work with are new construction. These are modern, brand new developments, not resales, not fixer uppers. You're buying into something that is being built to today's standards in some of the most desirable locations in the Dominican Republic. What you're looking at on this slide gives you a feel for the caliber of developments we're talking about: resort style living, thoughtful design, and real investment potential. Once you found the property you want, the next step is to secure it with a reservation fee of $5,000. This fee does two things: it takes the property off the market and it holds it exclusively for you for 30 days, giving you time to finalize your financing and get your legal paperwork in order. Now, I want to be very clear about something important. This $5,000 is non-refundable. So before you put down that reservation fee, you want to be confident in your decision. That's why we go through all of these steps first. By the time you're selecting a property, you should already know your budget, have your financing direction, and have your attorney lined up. You're not guessing at this point, you're committing. After the reservation fee, you move into the payment structure. And here's something great about buying new construction in the Dominican Republic: every development has its own payment plan. If you opt into a payment plan, payments are structured and due every 30 days. This makes it manageable and predictable. You know exactly what's coming and when. However, and this is critical, I need you to hear this clearly. When purchasing property in the Dominican Republic, all monies are non-refundable. This is standard practice here and it's different from what buyers may be used to in another market. Once money changes hands in this process, it is committed. This is precisely why steps 1 through 3 exist. We want you walking into step 4 fully prepared, fully informed, and fully ready to move forward. Selecting your property is an exciting moment. It's the moment your investment becomes real. Just make sure you go in with your eyes open, your team ready, and your finances confirmed. We're here to guide you through every detail so that when you say yes to a property, it's a confident, informed yes. Okay, so Cle Folio presents a vacation weekend, November 6th through the 9th. This is what all these virtual open houses is leading to. It's leading to a 3-day real estate event in the Dominican Republic designed to help you purchase safely, legally, and profitably without the guesswork. Excursions and education is included. Y si tú hablas en español, felicidades and bienvenido. Education, day one is going to consist of education, meet and greet, and start with understanding how the property purchase work in the Dominican Republic, legal structures, titles, and ownership consideration, common mistakes foreign buyers make, and how to avoid them, market insights and investment strategies. Meet your real estate team and fellow attendees. At the end of the evening with a relaxed meet and greet designed for real conversation, not sale pitches. Day 2 is for guided real estate tour. You will see the real options in real time. Visit vetted residential investment properties, learn how to evaluate location, pricing, and long-term value, ask questions, and reserve your property directly on site, understand timelines, contracts, and next steps. Transportation is included within this vacation weekend. So you can focus on learning, not logistics. Now, day 3 is curated for excursions and experience the lifestyle. Explore the culture, environment, and day-to-day feel of the Dominican Republic. You're going to decide if this country aligns with your lifestyle, your or investment goals, connect with other attendees, and relax setting. Because buying abroad is more than numbers; it's about fit. Now, step 5. Okay. Step 5 is where your attorney really earns their keep. And it's one of the most important steps in the entire process: due diligence. Remember back in step 3 when we talked about getting your team together? This is exactly why. Because before any money beyond that reservation fee moves, your attorney needs to dig into the property and make sure everything is clean, clear, and legally sound. Due diligence in the Dominican Republic is the process of verifying the property's legal and financial status before you complete the purchase. Think of it as a full background check on the property. You wouldn't hire someone without checking their references, right? And you shouldn't buy a property without verifying if it's legal standing either. The process has 3 key components, and I want to walk you through each one. So the first is title search and verification. Your attorney will conduct a public review. This is a formal search of the official government records to confirm who the legal owner of the property is and to ensure there are no outstanding claims, liens, or disputes attached to it. This is a non-negotiable. You need to know that the person or developer selling you the property actually has the legal right to sell it and that you won't inherit any hidden problems along it. The second component is legal and regulatory compliance, specifically verifying the property tax status. Your attorney will confirm that all property taxes have been paid up to date. If there are unpaid taxes on a property, that becomes your problem the moment you take ownership. This check makes sure you're starting with a clean slate. And third, perhaps the most critical piece is the review of the sale agreement. Every word of your purchase contract will be reviewed by your attorney to ensure it protects your interests as the buyer and that it fully complies with Dominican law. This is not the time to sign something you don't fully understand. Your attorney is there to explain it, flag anything unusual, and make sure the terms are fair and legally binding. In your favor, this is exactly why we say don't skip step 3. Having the right attorney in place means the end agent. This means this step goes smoothly and you move forward with complete confidence. Due diligence is what protects your investment. It's what separates a secure purchase from a risky one. Once your attorney has completed all 3 of these checks and you've reviewed and signed the sale agreement, you are ready to move into the final stages of the process. Let's keep going. Step 6 is next. So step 6 is the deposit.
Here's the forecast for tomorrow.
All right, so step 6, the deposit. You completed your due diligence, your attorney has reviewed everything, and you're ready to sign the contract. Now it's time to put some real skin in the game. The 20% deposit. The deposit is due at the signing of the contract, and typically it is 20% of the purchase price. And just like the reservation fee, I want to be upfront with you. This deposit is non-refundable. So by this point in this process, you are fully committed. This is not a maybe. This is not a let me think about it. When you sign the contract, you put down your 20%, you are moving forward with the purchase. Again, this is exactly why we walk through every step before getting here. We want confident, informed, and ready when this moment comes. How the timeline works. Here's how the timing flows. The deposit is due every 30 days after your $5,000 reservation fee was collected. Remember that the reservation fee held the property for you for 30 days. That window is your time to finalize your due diligence and get your contract reviewed and prepare your deposit funds. When those 30 days are up, it's time to sign and put down that 20%. And keep in mind, every development has their own payment plan structure. So the exact breakdown may vary depending on which property you're purchasing. Now, here's something I want to highlight because it's real advantage with this particular developer. Typically, the full 20% deposit is due in one lump sum at contract signing. But this developer has given us the flexibility to break that deposit into 2 payments. This is not standard. That is not something you find everywhere. It is significant benefit that makes the entry point more manageable, especially for buyers who are structured in their cash flow or who wants to preserve liquidity while still securing their property. So instead of coming up with the full 20% all at once, you have the ability to split it, giving you more breathing room as you move through the process. The deposit is the moment this purchase becomes truly official. It's an exciting milestone, and with this flexibility the developer is offering, it's more accessible than you might expect. Make sure you have your funds planned and ready within that 30-day window after your reservation. Your attorney and your team should already be in place at this stage, so this step should feel like a natural next move. Let's keep going. Step 7 is next. Okay. Step 7, the closing. We're almost there. Okay. So now, step 7, close the deal. This is the moment everything has been building towards. You've done the work, you follow the process, and now it's time to make it official. At closing, the remaining balance of the purchase may be due. depending on your payment plan. This is typically triggered one or two ways, either 30 days after your deposit was made or according to your development specific payment plan. I said it earlier. Every development structure this is slightly different, which is why it's so important to understand your payment plan from the start. Your team should have this mapped out well in advance so there are no surprises when closing day arrives. Now, I want to address something that matters a lot to buyers, especially international buyers who are wiring significant amounts of money. Our office, Cle Folio, would not collect any monies from you. Not a single dollar passed through us. All funds are wired directly to either the development or to the brokerage. And I want you to feel confident about that because of our brokerage is American owned. That means you have an added layer of accountability, transparency, and professionalism backing this entire transaction. This is not a situation where you sorry, I'm so sorry. One more thing that makes this process incredibly convenient, especially for our international buyers, the closing is done virtually. You do not need to be on a plane. You do not need to fly to Dominican Republic to sign papers. The entire closing process can be completely remote, which means you can secure investment from wherever you are in the world. This is a modern, streamlined process designed with the international buyer in mind. The last and final step, delivery. Okay, and now the moment you've been waiting for, key delivery. This is it. This is what all 7 steps have been leading to. The paperwork is done, the funds have been transferred, the deal is closed, and now it's time to hand you the keys to your very own international property. Think about what this means. You started this journey by getting your finances in order. You learned you didn't need a permit. You built your team, you selected your property. You did your due diligence and you put down your deposit and you closed the deal. And now you hold the keys, not to a dream, not to a plan, to real physical property in the Dominican Republic that belongs to you. Congratulations, you are now an international buyer. Now we're going to move into a sample payment plan. Okay. So this is a sample payment plan for a condo that is $300,000. This is the complete breakdown of all payments from reservation free through the key delivery. Now, step 1. The reservation fee is $5,000. Once you identify the property you would like to move forward with, you will notify our office. From that point, you have 40 hours to submit your completed reservation form and decide whether you will be paying in full or you'll be paying a payment plan. The $5,000 reservation fee is due immediately. It removes the unit from the market. The developer will hold your unit for 30 days while you finalize your financing and legal preparation. This fee is applied towards your purchase price, reducing your remaining balance to $295,000. The reservation fee is non-refundable. Now, step 2, contract signing and first deposit of $25,000 is due. 30 days after the reservation fee is received, you will sign your purchase contract and submit your first deposit. The standard deposit for this transaction, as stated before, in step 6, I believe, the standard deposit for this transaction is 20%. However, this developer has offered the flexibility to split the deposit into 2 separate payments. The first deposit represents 10% of the purchase price, which is usually $30,000. Since you already paid the $5,000 reservation fee, we will subtract it because that fee has been already applied to the amount due at the contract signing. So you will be paying $25,000 as the first deposit that's owed. All funds are wired directly to the developer or the brokerage. Cle Folio does not accept or handle any monies. Step 3 is the second deposit. That's the next 10%, because the deposit is 20%. So the second deposit is $30,000, which is due 30 days after contract signing. The second and final deposit installment is due. This represents the remaining 10% of the 20% deposit, totaling $30,000. At this point, your combined deposit payments total $60,000, and construction payments will begin on a quarterly schedule. Now, step 4. So now you owe about $210,000, we will break that up to 24 payments of 8,750. So the remaining 70% of the purchase, which is $210,000, is paid throughout the construction period in quarterly installments. So this means every 3 months. So now instead of, this is like mind blown, right? Instead of paying every 30 days, now you're going to start paying every 3 months. And this continues all the way to key delivery, which is December 2028. This breaks down to 24 payments of $8,750 each, a predictable, manageable schedule that aligns with the construction timeline. Total paid before key delivery will be $270,000. Now, key delivery and final payment. So that is $30,000. So the final 10% is $30,000 and is due at closing in December 2028. The moment you receive the keys to your international property, this completes your total purchase price of $300,000. The closing is conducted virtually. You are not required to travel to Dominican Republic to complete transaction. Important notice: all payments are non-refundable. All monies paid through this transaction, including reservation fee, deposits, construction payments, and final payment, are strictly non-refundable. If any payments are missed, you are at risk of losing all funds that you previously paid. Please ensure, and the property. So please ensure your financing is confirmed, which is why we do step 1, proof of funds. We have to make sure all finances are confirmed before submitting reservation fee. Okay. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I will be going through the frequently asked questions right now. So one question that always comes up is, can foreigners buy property in the Dominican Republic? Foreigners are entitled to receive the same right as locals. Remember step 2. With the sole exception of participating in local political activities. Foreign investors are subject to the same rules and regulations that apply to domestic counterparts. Question number 2. The property you purchase in the Dominican Republic can be held under... Sorry, I didn't ask the question. Ahead of myself. Can the property I purchase be under my name? Yes, the property you purchase in the Dominican Republic can be held under your name. However, if you're looking to generate rental income, it is highly recommended to hold the property under an LLC. Do we need to get the pre-approval in the Dominican Republic? No, pre-approval is not required in the Dominican Republic, as properties are purchased in cash because these are new construction. These are not already built. These are, for those who do not have the full amount available, many developments offer payment plans. These plans typically require a payment of every 30 days, depending on your payment plan. You see the one that we just went over. If a payment is missed, the buyer risks forfeiting both the property and all funds to date. Okay. So what documents a foreigner need? To purchase property in the Dominican Republic, foreigners are required to provide a valid passport, proof of funds, and basic personal information. And that's it. It's that simple. If you're ready to take the next step, scan the barcode and book the QR code and book your 15-minute buyer consultation today, and we could walk through the entire documentation process together. I will let you know how you could get the documents to me safely, and we can move forward with that. Now, last question. Can I rent my property short-term? Yes. Short-term rentals and Airbnb are completely legal in the Dominican Republic, making your property fantastic income generating opportunity. To get started, book your 15-minute buyer consultation. And if you have any questions regarding that, I could refer you to someone that I work with. Okay, now recap. Lastly, if you are serious about investing in the Dominican Republic, I want to personally invite you to a vacation weekend presented and hosted by Cle Folio. This is a 3-day real estate event taking place November 6th through the 9th, right in the Dominican Republic. Is designed to help you purchase property safely legally and profitably. No guesswork, no confusion. Excursions and education are included, and Spanish speakers are welcome. Early bird tickets start at just $198. You can register at drvacationweekend.eventbrite.com. This is your chance to experience the country firsthand and make your investment journey a reality. I hope to see you there. Okay. Just as purchasing a home in the United States can build wealth, over time, investing in Dominican Republic real estate offers the same opportunity for long-term financial growth and stability, with the added bonus of tropical lifestyle strong rental demand. This is more than a transaction for many of our buyers. This is a life milestone, a first international investment, a vacation home, a legacy property for their family, or the foundation of a real estate portfolio that spans borders. Your goals are our commitment. We are honored to be a part of your journey, and we do not take lightly the trust you have placed in us to guide you through this process. This is just the beginning. The Dominican Republic is filled with incredible opportunity, and we look forward to continuing to serve you, support you, and celebrate every milestone along the way. Thank you for joining Cle Folio at our virtual open house. Scan the QR codes on the screen. One is for my website, clefolio.com. The other one is for a buyer consultation. Follow me on all social media platforms at Cle Folio. We can't wait to make your vision a reality. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.
What kind of animal does that drum sound like?
This is a drum from Brazil called a cuica.